Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to each and everyone. I am Haula Paramata Pagayawan, and for today's video, I am going to specifically answer these questions. So what is a rating scale? Enumerate the various types of rating scales and explain how these rating scales are formulated. Now without further ado, let's get started. What is a rating scale? So a rating scale is a closed-end survey question that is used to evaluate how survey respondents feel about a particular product or statement. These respondents are typically asked to choose from range of options, which are scaled between excellent to terrible. Now, the rating scale is a variant of the well-known multiple choice question, because as we all know, multiple choice question, we are given various options to answer specific statement. Now, rating scales are popular for their ability to allow quantitative measures to be applied to more abstract subjective sentiments. Basically, rating scales are used to quantify abstract, such as satisfaction, experience, perception, and feeling that are difficult to quantify. But when done well, a rating scale is useful for measuring performance of effectiveness and has application in personality research. The basic feature of any rating scale is that it consists of number of categories. These are usually assigned integers. Now, moreover, we are going to roughly divide rating scales into two categories. So these categories are ordinal scale and interval scale. So let us first tackle interval scale. So an interval scale has similarities to an ordinal scale. As interval scale, the question's answers follow an innate order, but they contain an equal and meaningful value between the intervals. So example, interval scale, how satisfied were you with our service? So we have options: very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, somewhat unsatisfied, and very unsatisfied. Here, the difference between somewhat satisfied and very satisfied is mirrored by the intervals between somewhat unsatisfied and very unsatisfied. So when we say mirror, may similarity sila, or same yung agwat nila. These intervals are equal, which differentiates it from the ordinal scale. So bakit nga ba iba sila? Magkaiba ang ordinal scale and interval scale. So basically, ordinal scale is a variable measurement scale that presents the answers in an ordered manner. The scale is presented in natural order, but the intervals between the scale are not fixed. So unlike kanina na na-mention natin sa interval scale, may equal and meaningful value between the intervals. While sa ordinal scale naman ay hindi fixed ang intervals between scales. Further, there are four popular types of rating scale when conducting research. First, we have the graphic rating scale. The very familiar example of this is the Likert scale, which typically depicted in a table or matrix. The respondents can select either a number or a worded response along the top of the matrix or the table that corresponds to a list of items being asked. So an example of this is that in a question about a restaurant's service, we see this grid where the item in question is represented on the left-hand side, meaning the respondents can select their appropriate sentiment in the corresponding box. Another, we have the numerical rating scale. So what is a numerical rating scale? A numerical rating scale uses numbers instead of words. This is one of the simplest and most common types of rating scale and will be familiar through its measures, 0 to 10, with 0 as the lowest and 10 as the highest. So kanina we have a table, ngayon naman numbers ang gamit natin. So we have here a picture of numeric pain rating scale, which measures 0 to 10, with 0 as no pain and 10 as the worst pain imaginable. Now third, we have the descriptive rating scale. The descriptive rating scale does not require numbers, instead offering respondents the choices of descriptive statements. So kanina ang gamit natin after table, we have numbers, then now we have the statements naman, descriptions. So for example, the question, how happy were you with our service? It could be answered by either unhappy, neutral, or happy. So ang gagamitin natin descriptions to satisfy or answer certain statements. Now lastly, comparative rating scale. Ang comparative rating scale naman, it used when a researcher employs a point of comparison, like McDonald's compared to a different fast food restaurant like Jollibee, Burger King, ganon. Now, for an example, yun nga, take it from our example, we are going to rate Burger King in comparison to McDonald's. So we have the choices excellent, very good, good, both are the same, poor, and very poor. So a comparative rating scale allows the researcher to interpret the resulting data in relation to another company or product. Now we have our conclusion. So for our conclusion, rating scales are a quick and straightforward way to engage customers with surveys because they're intuitive and easy to navigate if occasionally lacking in real depth. Now, the trade-off in data richness can be countered with a simple piece of open-ended feedback which unleashes a world of customer feedback that can be used to power growth, change, and improvement. So, kita naman natin yun kapag nagre-rate tayo sa mga sa online shops, di ba? So, they most likely gave feedback sa both sa customer and sa mga sellers. So, that is the advantages or that is how a rating scale, or those are the numerous types of rating scales. And I thank you for listening. I hope you've learned a lot.